The message came to Ethan on a quiet Thursday evening, right when he finally managed to put his daughter to sleep. As a single dad juggling 2 part-time jobs, parenting, and exhaustion that felt permanent, he didn't have the energy to bother with unknown numbers. But this message wasn't asking for money or offering a discount. It simply read, "Hi, my friend said you might want to talk to someone new. I hope this isn't weird." Ethan stared at the words. He hadn't asked anyone to set him up, he didn't even like the idea of dating again, but there was something gentle in the tone. Curious, he replied, "Who gave you my number?" "My cousin, Lily. She said you're a good guy." I'm Ava." He did know Lily. She worked at the grocery store he frequented, always smiling at his daughter, Mia, always asking if he was getting enough sleep. He sighed. Lily had probably decided he needed companionship. He should have been annoyed, but he wasn't. He typed back, "Nice to meet you, Ava." That was how it started. For the first time in years, Ethan found himself talking to someone who listened, who didn't rush, who didn't judge. Ava was soft-spoken, choosing her words carefully. She asked about Mia, about his dreams, about his favorite books. And she shared little pieces of herself, how she loved painting skies, how tea tasted better than coffee, how she preferred late-night conversations because people were more honest in the dark. But there was something she avoided. Her photos. Whenever he asked for one, she would change the subject. Or say her camera was broken. Or claim she didn't take good pictures. Ethan didn't push. Everyone had their insecurities. Still, something felt hidden. 2 weeks passed, then 3. They talked every night. He found himself smiling at his phone like a teenager, something he hadn't done since before Mia was born. Finally, Ava asked the question, "Would you like to meet?" Ethan froze. He wasn't sure he was ready. What if she didn't like him? What if she hated that he was a dad? But Ava added, "We don't have to stay long. Just coffee. I want to meet you, if you want to meet me." He wanted to. Badly. They decided on a small cafe at the edge of town, quiet and calm, the kind of place where people didn't stare. Ethan arrived early, nervously adjusting his shirt, glancing at the door every other second. Then he saw her. A woman stepped in, wearing a simple cream dress, her hands fidgeting with the strap of her purse. But what caught his eyes, what made him pause, was the left side of her face. Burn scars. Deep, uneven, textured scars that trailed down her cheek, disappearing beneath her collarbone. The burns were old but unmistakable. Her right side was beautiful, gentle dark eyes, soft lips, but the other side was a roadmap of pain. She looked around nervously. No one else in the cafe seemed to be waiting. It had to be her. A knot tightened in Ethan's stomach, not out of disgust, but out of shock. And shame for being shocked. When her gaze met his, she froze. Fear flashed across her expression, like she expected him to get up and leave. Instead, he stood. "Ava," he asked carefully. She nodded. He offered a small smile. "Hi, it's really good to finally meet you." Her shoulders sagged in relief, but her eyes stayed guarded. She sat across from him, hands clasped tightly, her hair deliberately covering part of her face. Conversation was awkward at first, not because of her scars, but because she kept waiting for a reaction. Waiting for him to flinch. Waiting for the moment he pulled away. She couldn't relax. Ethan hated that someone had made her feel like that. Finally, he said gently, "You don't have to hide your face." "Not with me." Her breath caught. Slowly, hesitantly, she tucked her hair back. He didn't stare. He didn't pretend not to notice. He just smiled. The tension loosened a little. Ava spoke more freely. She laughed once, covering her mouth, cheeks turning pink. And despite the emotional weight she seemed to carry, she was warm. Intelligent, funny, thoughtful, but something felt off. Not about her scars, about the setup. When she excused herself to go to the restroom, Ethan's phone buzzed. It was a message from Lily. "You met Ava yet? Please be kind. She's been through a lot." He frowned and replied, "Why did you give her my number?" Lily responded quickly, "Because she deserves someone gentle. And you're a good man." He read the message twice. So he was tricked into meeting Ava. But he didn't feel angry. He felt protective. When Ava returned, she looked more anxious than before, as if she feared he had changed his mind while she was gone. "Ethan," she said quietly, "I know Lily probably didn't tell you everything before giving you my number. I told her not to. I didn't want pity. I wanted a chance. Just one person who might see me before seeing my face." He leaned forward. I see you, Ava. She bit her lip, eyes watering. She nodded but seemed to shrink again, like she couldn't believe him. When they walked out of the cafe together, she kept a full step ahead of him, as if afraid to inconvenience him by walking too close. He hated that she had been conditioned to expect rejection. As they reached her car, she hesitated, then turned to him. Her voice shook. Be honest, were you surprised when you saw me? He didn't lie. Yes, he said softly. I wasn't expecting it, but that doesn't change anything. You don't feel uncomfortable, she whispered. No, he said, not even a little. For the first time, she truly looked at him, searching his face, reading his sincerity. Then she stepped closer. Ethan, she whispered, voice trembling, is looks all that matter? Those words weren't a question. They were a wound, a memory, a plea. He took a breath. No, they're not. She closed her eyes, and for a moment he saw everything she carried. Years of hiding, shame forced on her by others, the fear of being seen, the terror of being unwanted. He wanted to take it all from her. Can I tell you something? He said gently. She nodded. When my daughter was born, she had complications. They told me she might have permanent marks on her face. I remember thinking, it wouldn't matter. I would still love her with every part of me. Ava's eyes softened. People told me, he continued, that if I ever dated again, I should find someone beautiful, so Mia could have a mother figure who looked the part. I hated how superficial it sounded. I decided I'd rather stay single forever than choose someone based on looks. A tear slipped down her cheek. I don't care about perfection, he whispered. I care about kindness, strength, honesty. You have all of that. Ava pressed her palm to her scarred cheek, as if trying to hide again, but Ethan gently caught her wrist. Don't, he said, you don't have to hide from me. Her breath hitched. I'm afraid. People stare. They laugh sometimes. Kids ask what happened. Adults pretend not to look. I'm tired, Ethan. Tired of being someone people tolerate instead of someone they want. I want you. The words slipped out before he could stop them. Ava, I don't care about the scars. I care about the woman wearing them. She stared at him, stunned. Then, slowly, her fingers intertwined with his. They stood there, in the dim glow of the streetlights, not rushing, not pretending. Just two wounded hearts learning how to trust again. Can we try this? She whispered. Even if it scares me. Yes, he said, we can try as slowly as you need. Her lips curved into the softest, most beautiful smile he had ever seen. Over the next weeks, Ethan introduced Ava to Mia. His daughter adored her immediately, especially when Ava showed her how to paint clouds. Ava laughed, really laughed, for the first time since he'd met her. Soon, she stopped covering the left side of her face around them. She didn't apologize for her appearance anymore. And Ethan found that every day, he admired her more. One evening, as they sat on his couch watching Mia build a tower of blocks, Ava turned to him. Why did you stay? She asked softly. He took her scarred cheek in his hand, thumb brushing gently along her skin. Because your heart, he whispered, is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. She leaned into him, tears in her eyes, but this time, they were happy. She whispered the same words that had once been filled with fear. Looks don't matter, right? He smiled, not even a little, and for the first time since her life had changed forever, Ava believed it. Truly believed it, because to the man holding her, the man who saw her not as broken but as brave, she wasn't a burn-scarred girl. She was simply Ava, and that was more than enough.